What is going on, guys, and welcome to my 4K gaming rig build. This is going to be a theoretical build to run the 4K resolution, which is 4 times the resolution of 1080p, which is what we call full HD. So obviously it's going to be quite demanding on your computer. Therefore, this is not going to be a budget guide. It's going to be rather expensive, but this is basically what you're going to need to run 4K at decent visual settings at a good FPS. For a CPU, we're going with the Intel Core i7-4790K, which is an absolutely awesome CPU. It's one of the best CPUs on the market to date. It's part of the Haswell refresh, so it's a 4th generation processor, but it's of the refresh, so we're getting slightly better performance and thermal management, and it's just generally an all-round good CPU. Intel make brilliant CPUs, and this is no exception. To cool our CPU, since we're probably going to be overclocking it since it's a K series chip, we're going to be using the Corsair H100i, which is an all-in-one CPU water cooler. This is probably one of the best water coolers and CPU coolers in general on the market, and they're just really good priced. They give you brilliant performance, and all-in-ones are just really convenient to use. And yeah, Corsair makes some really cool stuff, and this is no exception to that. In comparison to the other parts, the motherboard really isn't that important in a 4K rig. However, you are going to want to go with a high quality gaming motherboard, so the Asus Maximus VI Extreme is going to be perfect for that. It offers support for SLI, which we're going to utilise, as well as support for high speed memory, and the Z87 chipset on it is going to allow us to overclock successfully, and it's just going to be a really high standard board, as Asus always does make. 16GB of G.Skill Trident X memory should suffice for a 4K rig. 8GB is really all you need, but it's better to have too much than too little, and this being clocked at 2400MHz should be plenty fast for what we need it for. For our graphics card, or should I say graphics cards, we're going with 3 Nivdia GTX 780 Ti's in SLI. These are absolutely lightning fast cards, and with 3GB of GDDR5 RAM, they're going to be able to support any games and games into the future. Now, a lot of people dislike SLI, however I do like it because you get a nice increase in performance, especially for 4K gaming, and it is definitely necessary to have at least 2 cards with current gen cards for 4K gaming. Also note that you can have a card from any of the manufacturers, so EVGA, MSI. You can basically choose which cooler you want. However, I do like the SOC cooler from Nvidia, but you obviously do have the choice there. For this beast of a rig, we're going to have one hell of a beefy power supply, and that's where the Corsair AX1500i comes in. This is a 1500 watt fully modular power supply, which is 80 plus titanium, which is absolutely awesome. So this is extremely efficient. It's 94% efficient, and Corsair power supplies, I have to say, are really good. And this is going to be no exception. It's a brilliant power supply, fully modular, so you can keep your case nice and tidy, but it's also going to provide you with that wattage that you need for all these overclocked and extremely powerful components. When it comes to storage, it's pretty much up to you and the way you like it configured, but I'd recommend a Kingston HyperX 3K 480GB SSD. This is going to give you very fast performance when you're loading your operating system and opening files, and SSDs are just generally the way forward. However, you could obviously go ahead and put a mechanical hard drive in there, like a Western Digital or a Seagate. Those are really good brands for mechanical hard drives, and I would recommend them. So yeah. To house this beast of a computer, we're going with a Fractal design Define 4 windowed edition. This is absolutely one of my favourite cases of all time, and I'm actually considering picking one up for my own personal rig. It looks so nice, it's the right size, it's going to accommodate all our parts, it's going to accommodate the radiator for the water cooling, and it's just generally a really high quality, nice looking case. Simplicity is the key with this one. It just looks really nice. Window is a nice touch, especially if you put some LEDs in there. And yeah, it's just a really high quality case, and I just think this would be perfect for this build. That is essentially all you need for an absolutely awesome 4K gaming rig. However, I would recommend adding some extra fans to your case to keep those GPUs cool. Since we are running SLI, you can run into thermal throttling, which is a big issue when running SLI. However, just adding a couple extra fans, making sure you got good airflow in your case, good cable management, dust filters on, those are the kind of things that are going to help prevent thermal throttling and just help keep your PC healthy for longer. And yeah, that's basically it. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments down below. and any suggestions you want for the future, different PC builds. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave a like, and yeah, goodbye.